Lights out and away we go. And it looks like we've got a reasonable start as we head into the first corner. But we are overwhelmed here by Vettel. I mean, we didn't get the best exit and we almost get taken off there by Felipe Massa. So now here we are behind both Grosjean and Sainz, and we get a much better exit off the chicane. And we are able to get past first Grosjean and then Sainz, which is a good start. Seeing if we can do any... Oh no! I thought the game would slow me down. It should have done that! Well, hello everyone, it is Matty Gaming HD here, back with episode 8 of Checo's Charter Category. I know I received a lot of backlash in the previous episode. I do admit now, it was my mistake. I thought the game would slow me down, but really, I should have known that it wasn't going to slow me down, and I just drove straight into the back of Bottas. So I realised it was my mistake. Hopefully that clears everything up. Now, moving on to round 8 to make up for that stupid mistake. It's now time for the Austrian Grand Prix. Let's go into the qualifying report. With rain on the prowl, the scene was certainly set for an interesting qualifying stint at the Red Bull Ring. It was no surprise to see both Manu Marushas of Roberto Meri and Will Stevens filling up the back row. Daniel Ricciardo was completely caught out by the conditions, as he could only manage 18th, whilst Kvyat qualified 9th. Sauber endured an average session with Felipe Nasr 13th and Marcus Ericsson in 17th. The two McLarens of Jenson Button and Fernando Alonso filled up the 8th row. It was an average session for Lotus, as Romain Grosjean qualified 11th with Pastor Maldonado in 14th. Max Verstappen finally got qualifying right, as he qualified 10th with Carlos Sainz Jr. in 12th. Force India endured a good session with Sergio Perez qualifying in 5th and Nico Hulkenberg in 8th. Valtteri Bottas endured a fantastic session as he qualified in 2nd, whilst Massa qualified 7th. Ferrari were a disappointment as Vettel qualified in 4th with Raikkonen in 6th. It was no surprise to see Hamilton take pole position on a 1:15.129 whilst Rosberg qualified in 3rd.
Welcome to the Austrian Grand Prix here in Spielberg. It's race day and the cars are already on the grid as the drivers complete their final preparations ahead of lights out. It was a blistering lap time from Lewis Hamilton in qualifying yesterday. If he gets a clean start away from the grid today, he might be untouchable.
When we spoke to him earlier, he felt that this was a great opportunity to go on and win, but he knows he still has plenty of work to do. Anything can happen in the race, so you have to keep your feet on the ground until you take the checkered flag.
Just what do you think will be going through Fernando Alonso's head as he watches now how well Ferrari are doing this year?
Fernando left Ferrari as he didn't believe they'd be able to offer him the opportunity to win that 3rd world title. If he knew this form was around the corner, I dare say he would have stayed put.
Well, here we are, sat on the grid, here in Spielberg, ready for lights out. Now, just to say, I don't have any replays in. Basically, the reason why is because I accidentally skipped through the part where, when it asked me if I wanted to look at replays, and looked on that, there's no going back. Anyway, we have the lights in Austria. Lights out and away we go. And we get a decent start off the line as we head into the first corner. Here you have Raikkonen down our inside, but we are able to get the exit. Now it's a long run down up to the Remus curve. We're not close enough to Vettel, so we're going to have to really defend. Obviously the Ferrari has more surround speed, but we go straight down the inside of Vettel because we broke way too late, which is not part of the plan. And now Raikkonen has got a better exit as we head up to Sloskull Corner. I know the corner names, I'm not sure other people do. And we break a little bit wide, a little bit too late. That allows Massa to get past Raikkonen. And we are still in 5th place. So, not the best of starts for us, but we have maintained position. Now here, as you can see, we have Felipe Massa, who's going to have a look. This is moving on to lap 4. Who's going to have a look down the inside of us at the end of the second DRS straight into Sloskull. But we are able to hold it round the outside. And we are able to maintain 5th place. Now moving on to lap 6 now. We have a fair gap to Raikkonen behind. Obviously Raikkonen more straight on speed in that Ferrari. But we go too wide going into Sloskull. Now going up towards the middle sector. And we're understeering. Obviously our tyres are pretty much gone. And there's contact with Kimi Raikkonen. He has pushed us round. We have lost out to Raikkonen and Massa, which is really not what we need. I'm not sure whose fault. I think we may have actually turned in there, just not realised that Raikkonen was on the inside. Now you've got Hulkenberg trying to get round our outside, going into Rinse Curve. Now into the final corner. Let's see what we can do. We've still got DRS, which is helpful. This is our teammate behind us. As we head into turn 1. Now down the back straight. Up towards the Remus curve. As you can see, we're understeering quite a lot because of a lot of tyre wear. And we get a very bad exit off the Remus. And this is going to allow Hulkenberg to get through, heading into Sloskull. And that has all been done by the fact that we broke way too late going into Sloskull. So, that's really not past the plan. So we now pit on lap 7, obviously getting off this set of option tyres, getting onto a new set of option tyres now. And we can see what we can do from here. We're into the pits.
Release.
We're going now. See, we're behind the 2-man Marushas, but we're going to... Obviously, they've yet to stop, and we usually are at this point in the race, when we pitted. Depending on when they pit. So, as you can see, now we're crossing the line, and we have managed to undercut Hulkenberg, as you can see. So, we are up to P6. Now moving on to lap 14, and we are pitting for our second scheduled stop. Not much happened in the second stint, so it was kind of a stint that we could just breathe, relax, and just think about what was going to happen for the rest of the race. We're into the pits, onto a new set of prime tyres. Off the limiter. As you can see, we rejoin behind this gaggle of cars with Ericsson and the McLarens, and I believe NASA is in there as well. Yeah, it is, both Saubers and McLarens. As you can see, we get a much better exit than the group of them. And we could get past the trio of them, heading up towards the Remus curve, but depends on how we can get our braking. And we almost hit the back of NASA, running way too wide. A massive piece of action there. Now, down the straight, up towards Sloskull. But we brake way too late again and run wide. So we're trying to get rejoined. But Jensen Button completely cuts us off, and we go straight into the barrier. That was 0% our fault, 100% Button's fault, and we have lost our front wing, and that is really not what we need. So, into the pits. Of course, at this point, we were all thinking, that is race over, we're not going to get any points. Of course, changing our front wing. We are now going to be in last place because the 2-man Marushas are going to get ahead of us. So, of course, our race has taken a massive knock at this point. down into last place, which really is not what we need. But let's see what we can do from here. Now, as you can see, we're getting down the inside of Roberto Meri. And that was an easy move. Of course, we're in a Force India and he's in a Man Marussia. At this point, we were starting to think maybe we could get some points because some cars were pitting. You see, now we're going to try to get past Will Stevens in the other Man Marussia. Getting round the outside. He didn't make it easy for us, but we got the better exit. So, we're now into the pits from 15th place, of course. Seeing if we can still salvage something from this race. It's been such an exciting race that we've had. Into the pits.
You're half a minute ahead of Lazar.
We hit our marks for our final scheduled stop. So, we are free to go to the end of the race. We exit the pits now, and we are going to be obviously lapped by Bottas, but we're ahead of Nasser. Bottas has yet to stop. He's in the lead of the race at the moment.
Okay, we've lost
For Williams. At this point, we were starting to think that points is a possibility. But what's going on ahead? And there's a massive block-up. Maldonado has to brake. Can't really blame him for that because and that forces Bottas to brake. Then we have no time to react. And we lose our front wing. And that has ended all chance of us getting points. Surely. That really was not our fault. We went through the corner. We had absolutely no time to react to the block-up that we had ahead. I wish I could show a replay of how that all started, but I can't because obviously I accidentally skipped through when I was supposed to get the replays. But now into the final corner. In P13 we eventually got up to due to a few pitters. Max Verstappen behind us. But we finished in 13th place. We should have got points. Undoubtedly. But 13th place. Obviously a very disappointing race for us. But Silverstone next, where the team are based just like a kilometre from. So obviously we need to get a good result there. It was Kimi Raikkonen who took the win. A bad race for Mercedes unusually. 12th and 4th. We finished in 13th place, which, as I said before, a very disappointing race.
Thanks for joining us and goodbye.
We have lost out to Kvyat in the drivers' standings. In the constructors' standings, we are led with Toro. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. We'll see you in Silverstone.